The main working season is only from September to December. In the dry season, they only get a few days' work and have to manage without their salary for several days a week. The eldest workers remember when the English colonialists were in charge of the plantations. 70-year-old Arum Ugam Ramasundaram started working at the plantation when he was 10 years old. He claims life was better under the English colonial masters than under the private companies that run the tea estates today. The companies are only interested in getting as much profit as possible, he says. The first tea plantation workers fled from hunger in Tamil Nadu in the south of India and were brought to Sri Lanka by the English colonial administration. The English planters were in desperate need of cheap labour because the local Sinhalese refused to work on the plantations. The lower caste Tamils were promised a prosperous future as tea workers, and between 1871 and 1881, 240,000 Tamils moved to the teardrop-shaped island of Sri Lanka. It was to be a deadly journey.
They were brought by catamarans from India to the east coast of Sri Lanka, and from that point they had walked for days and weeks and months to get to their destinations, to the upcountry tea estates. So in the process, a lot of lives have been lost due to fatigue, starvation. Then of course there was the epidemic of malaria in our country, so they have been victims to malaria as well. And also they have died due to snake bites and things like that, because they had to come a long way from Danaskuri to Uva. They had taken a couple of months, I suppose. So then they had to clear the jungles, living in small kajans, what they call these huts built out of kajan. And so they have really suffered.
The suffering continued for the plantation Tamils. The graveyards, placed in many of Sri Lanka's tea fields, tell another story of the Tamil Hindu workers. Over the last 20 years, American evangelical churches have aggressively baptized hundreds of Hindu workers. They often offered benefits in exchange for the Tamils giving up their native culture and Hindu gods. Converting to Christianity was, for many, a desperate act to at least gain some kind of respect in a life otherwise filled with discrimination and suppression. When they died, they were buried in the tea fields they had worked so hard in all their lives. From tea they came, and to tea they shall become. Today, discrimination of the upcountry Tamils is still a part of Sri Lankan society. The situation in schools leaves a lot to be desired, and opportunities for young Tamils are few.
They don't like how people educate. When you educate, they will question them. Then there might be problems. So therefore, it's easy to cheat when they were not aware about the outward. So because of that, it had been isolated. That's what I said, they're keeping as a semi-slavery life. We are not getting a proper, facilities. Most of the school, we don't have teachers for the important subjects called maths and science, and also advanced level subject. There are educated youths, unemployed, but they are not appointed. Comparing to the Tamil medium Muslim schools, they have extra, I think, more than their need. There are 5 or 6 extra teachers.
It is not only the people that suffer at the hands of the Sri Lankan tea industry. The environmental impact of the large tea monocultures has been devastating.
As an organization who believe environment, sustainable environment, I think we have made a mistake by going into tea industry. That is past. now can't help anything, because to grow tea they have taken the best forest coverage in Sri Lanka. So we are facing a lot of problems: droughts, landslides, access to forest products. So in that way we are very unfortunate. There was no sustainable land management system in the tea plantation. So as a result, we pump a lot of chemical fertilizers, herbicides, spray,
and also usage of heavy chemicals. It's pollute the land and the water, and also due to destroy the forest, expansion of plantation, we lost our water resource, our water catchment area.
Future in Our Hands Sri Lanka has worked for 10 years to improve both the environment and the living conditions of the plantation workers. The organisation promotes organic farming and helps tea workers to create additional jobs, raising their income. Future in Our Hands also supports youth programmes to empower the Tamil women and youth.
We have been training girls and boys when it comes to high-speed machine operator. We call it Juki machines, where you make garments, where you can have stitch your shirt or blouse at home, where you can make it in income after having been able to buy a sewing machine. Then go for goat rearing, very, very promising income generation activity, because you don't need much land.
The Future in Our Hands plantation projects are supported by the Norwegian Development Fund.
So that is why most of the foreign funded and the government projects have failed at the end, because they are not willing to listen to people. Always, okay, we know everything, we have come from universities, why not we teach them? So this mentality, you go to the village with our own solution. So as a result, we call them not participatory. It is not enough. We'll have to be true participatory, honest attempt.
Organic fair trade tea is one attempt to help both the plantation workers and the environment at the same time. Future in Our Hands has helped the Totulagalla plantation in Uwa to convert to organic production without using chemicals. The tea made here is also fair trade. The consumers buying the tea pay a small supplement that benefits the workers directly. The extra funds are managed by a group of workers on the estate. They say they feel the future is more secure thanks to the fair trade funds.
I think as a society, as consumers from other countries, they should get together and try to help the people who produce the tea rather than intermediate people in the business. Very few knows that how the suffering in Sri Lanka for me to enjoy a cup of tea.